Game time, Brian. Hey Mark, is that the guy coming on? Hey Mark, you can bring DFW and the Dallas Fort Worth area, and it won't matter. You haven't done dick in 30 years. The Pet Rock and the Chia Pet were more famous than Dallas in the last 25 years. Who are you kidding? The Chia Pet is more famous than the Cowboys in the last 30 years. The Chia Pet.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Welcome to the Sunday Zoom call. I hope to see a lot of people in here. I want everybody to go to the community tab. The Zoom link is there. If you got a camera, hop on in. Troy Daniels, you are already here. How are you doing, Troy? What's going on, man?
Yeah, doing great, Brian. Just relaxing.
I know, that's what I'm doing.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
and
You as
to
well.
everybody.
We went. I've been sleeping great. I've fallen asleep early, getting up early, and then sleeping in later because I'm up for 3 hours during the middle of the night. I ran. I got the new hats. I got a few of these hats here in the royal blue. So this
They
is
look
the
great.
new color of the hat. There you go. Happy Father's Day to everybody in the chat. Hopefully it picks up. We got 13 people in here right now. I see we got CZ, Isaac Ramirez, Mr. Cowboy, Roro, and Drew. What's going on? That's everybody that's in the chat. So, how you been, Troy? I haven't seen you in a while. I know you've been out
Yeah,
at least a week or
I
so.
lost. I totally spaced last week. I got
What's up,
busy
Curtis?
with some things and totally lost track of time. And by the time I realized it, yours had already passed, and
Yeah.
Mark was just about done with his broadcast. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
It happens. It happens. That's a good time. Hey, Lady Libra, how are you? Before we get started, I got a little bit of news for everybody. It's nothing great. I don't know if you guys heard, but let me show you. Let's see here. Not this one. We got an exemption, people. Cowboys get a surprise roster exemption for Denzel Daxon. He's the one technique that we got. Immediately after the draft, the Cowboys signed rookie free agent Denzel Daxon, 6'2", 304. He played at a couple of colleges. He ended up being at Illinois. To their surprise, they got some even better news. Very impressive by his attention to detail and the ability to play double teams. The Cowboys were planning on signing Daxon as one of their undrafted rookie free agents. He was born in Nassau, Bahamas, but they like we did with Isaac Alarcon, who's now in with the San Francisco 49ers 90-man roster. You're allowed to be an exempt for, I guess it was 2 or 3 years, one of the two. Well, now Denzel Daxon will not count as part of our 90-man roster. So that gives us an extra roster spot, and he could actually play, unlike Isaac Alarcon, who was just a project from the get-go.
Yeah.
Remember Isaac? We had him in the offensive line, and then we ended up moving him to defense. My opinion, Troy, was probably more for scouting and practice, getting ready for games.
Yeah, I think that was the case too.
You know what I mean? I think that's. So, what's your opinion on that? We get a little extra. We get a little roster spot.
So if he makes the 53-man, does he count towards the 53-man? Okay.
No, he's like an extra guy who you can carry. I don't know about game day. That's the thing.
I-
believe he would count as a roster
Uh-huh.
spot, I would imagine.
I think I'm going to have to maybe take a look at some footage on him and see how.
Yeah, well, I
how
showed
he
some.
does.
I got copyrighted, but it's just ridiculous how YouTube gets. I can't show any
Exactly.
highlights, anything. Even if I take out all the noise, put me in there like we have now, like in a box, they still will. I mean, it doesn't. It just makes the video non-monetizable. Things you learn as you go along. But
Yeah.
let's see who else is in here. Well, I see Lady Libra. Curtis, how you doing, Curtis?
Curtis is there. Hey, Curtis.
What's going on, brother? Happy Father's Day, 7370. Arturo, what's going on? 7370. What's that mean? Help me out, big guy. Anybody know what that means? 7370.
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know. Help me out. But yeah, so we got a little bit of good news, and I'm good with that. Any kind of news we could get, I'm happy with.
Yeah, exactly.
I did hear the Eagles dodged the penalty.
Did they?
The Eagles are not going to get penalized for tampering in the Saquon Barkley thing. The Falcons, however, are going
They
to
got
get
dinged.
penalized. Yeah.
Yeah, they got dinged.
Yeah. They got
I think they lose what,
a fifth
second
round.
rounder?
No,
Fifth rounder.
it was a fifth round draft pick, and they lost like
And-
250 grand, which is nothing. Philly D, happy Father's Day, my man. How you doing? My stream just went to poor for whatever reason.
Oh, yikes! That's not good.
No, I think it'll be fine. Let me know if everybody. It says we're still going, so
Yeah,
it's-
you're looking
yeah.
good.
Okay. Sometimes my system will just say it, but it looks like I don't know. Let me see. Can everybody see it good? And now I'm getting a little bit of. I'm going to run a quick test here. Let me see. Let me see what we got. Looks like it's going to rain where I'm at right now.
Oh, we've been sunny, but a little bit cooler than normal.
Really? Now you're in Utah, right?
Yep. Yeah, right now we're at 75. Usually we're about mid 80s to upper 80s at this point.
Yeah, it's
So
going to
we're
get.
a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to get. All right, now we're back. It's going to be a scorcher later on this week. Philly D, it's going up to
wow.
97, 98 here with a heat index over 100. So,
Yeah, I think we're going to hit 100 easy this week.
yeah, so it's going to be bad. Nike 3, what's going on, buddy? You're still good game time. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's weird. I'm doing a test. It's fine now, but it just went from poor to great. So, whatever. It's fine now. So, I didn't restart my computer. So, 86. So, there it goes poor again. 86 in Sandston so far.
Nice. That's
When-
good.
Yeah. Philly D says went crabbing today. Started at 6 a.m. Got nothing. Yeah. Philly D, I went crabbing too, buddy. We ended up stopping at Sam's Club, and I bought 2.5 pounds of the crab legs. So that's about the extent of my crabbing. So
Is that
later
what
on-
you're going to have for your dinner
I'm
today?
gonna make some burgers on the grill, and that's not a lot of crab legs. So me and my wife will eat the crab legs. So nobody else likes.
106 where Arturo is.
What is it? 106? Well, he's out in the
He's out
Yeah, well,
near
he's in,
me.
yeah. I think he's in Texas, right, Art? Or are you in New Mexico? I can't. I know I shipped something to you. I think it's in Texas. I wish it could rain here. Yeah, he lives in Texas. Curtis wants to know how Utah is.
Yeah, so far it's nice and cool. I'd take days like this throughout the summer. But we're gonna top over 100 easily.
Hey, Twiz. Happy Father's Day, brother. I hope all is well for all the fathers out there. We picked them up
Yeah,
on the
he's
way
in
home.
Texas.
Exactly. Put all that
Yeah,
work
he's
in,
near New
Philly.
Mexico.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Yeah. So, now we got the dog days. What's up, Bobby? This morning I made a video, man. I got a couple Cowboy fans who, listen, I don't mind, like criticism, but when I make a video, Okay, I've already stated my opinion on Dak Prescott. Okay, I'm fine if he stays. I'm fine if he leaves. But I made a video based on things I'm hearing. That doesn't mean that he's a failure, people. You know, a lot of these, you know, this one dude, Leo, he's just very aggressive in the comment section. I never see you on my live stream. You never say nothing here. So I'm just very curious as to why you wait. Sometimes I don't think you watch the video if you're watching, Leo, because anybody that knows me knows I'm on board with moving on. I just don't want to move on without having an option. You can't sit here and tell me that Trey Lance is the answer. You cannot tell me that. And I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to play it, and I'll, if I had it written down here, so just give me a minute. But let's see here. 1933. But, he's not looked good in OTAs. I mean, I got a question for my Eagle people, okay? Now, we've heard that Jalen hasn't looked good. I'm not saying Trey Lance is going to fail. I'm just saying that he's struggling right now. Surprisingly enough, he's not looking great. So I don't see how that's a major deal. But anyway,
You are listening to the.
I'm going to go and fast forward this so everybody can see. Let's see here at 1733. Let me see here.
The bottom three guys have shown up the most.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, Botch Lombardi, you don't see the inconsistencies in the practice. The one thing these receivers have, it's hard in the OTA practices. Just
maybe it's the 11 one. Sorry, let me go back.
Ways for you when you looked at the minicamp practice of how Trey Lance has looked, Dak, where the receiver battle stands, some of the running backs. What stood out to you at some of these minicamp practices?
They're trying to figure out a spot for Deuce Vaughn. They're trying to figure out, and they're actually with Deuce Vaughn, and you did us all a huge favor by asking Deuce Vaughn about his work at wide receiver in the locker room several days ago. And he was even talking about that they're trying to find more versatility. There has been every practice, there has been one ball that has been thrown to Deuce Vaughn, whether it's been on third down, fourth down. They're trying to find ways to put him in the backfield, move him wide receiver, get him involved. I think Turpin is another guy that they're trying to kind of figure out. It seems like every single practice I've seen him either deep shot, backfield motion, throw him the ball, put him in the slot, hand him the ball. They're doing a lot of things to kind of try and feel him out and see exactly how much they can give him. They're really the Trey Lance battle at quarterback. And I've been very consistent about this. I want Trey Lance to get every rep I can with the twos. There's been times where Trey Lance has not looked very good. And, and there's been some throws that have needed to be made and haven't been made. They've given him an opportunity to run some of the 2-minute stuff with the ones. Actually it's the twos, but running it ahead of Cooper Rush. Tuesday practice was Trey Lance with the twos. Wednesday's practice was Trey Lance with the threes, and so he didn't get the opportunity. So they're going to shuffle these guys back and forth. Going to need to see a lot from Trey Lance, and I was hopeful. I still am hopeful. I'm not going to let 3 mini camp practices affect me, but there are some throws that he needs to make. And there's going to need to be the one thing you will see at training camp, Bobby, and you and I will talk about this a bunch when we get out there and do our shows or on the radio station. When you're out there, the training camp practices happen fast. They're moving. The speed, you got guys that are desperate to make jobs or to get jobs. And so you're getting guys that are playing at a very high level and playing really quick. Trey Lance has got to play quicker mentally. He has got to play quicker. There's been times where I feel like that he's a little late holding the ball. I don't know if he's trying to read everything too precisely and just not react. but you will get a clear picture of him at training camp practices, especially with this secondary. And you will get a clear picture of him when you get to these preseason games, namely the Rams game, namely the Raiders game, and then you finish up with the Chargers. He is going to have opportunities to win this number 2 job. There's been some really good, and there's been some times where he needs to be a little bit better.
Yeah, I think the footwork was actually a lot better, and some of the drop backs looked a lot cleaner to me for Lance than I anticipated. That's where I kind of thought he might be behind a little bit, is in just some of those mechanics, coming from under center. But I thought that, his lower body mechanics looked pretty good, pretty in sync with Dak, pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
So those are positive things. But yeah, I think you're right. Look, I mean, it's nothing to overreact to. The question, I guess, would just be, is maybe the velocity to the sideline as good as I thought it was, or is it something more where?
All right, that's enough. I'm not here to say he's a failure, people. If anybody knows, I'm like flying out on the seat of my pants here. I want him to. It helps the Dallas Cowboys if he's a successful and he can push Dak Prescott. That's what's good. I would want nothing more than him to come out lighting it up and putting the pressure on Dak and maybe play better than Dak and give them an actual option. It's just very coincidental to me that they go from it's Dak, Dak's on the way out. Dak, now we're hearing Dak is a priority to be signed. Dak is the number one priority. It's Troy. Now he's a number one. Oh, wait, sorry. He's the number one priority, which I think is ridiculous. So, I'm just saying. Drew, I know it's OTAs. It's not ridiculous. Again, we got nothing to talk about, man. What do you want? So it's ridiculous that they're saying Jalen stinks right now, or he's not looking great. I get it. Nobody's saying, hey, Ruben, nobody's saying it's bad, but what else are we going to talk about? We're analyzing. He's not looking good. He can't make throws on air on time with no defense. Drew, that's a little concerning, right? But then
to go back and answer Curtis's question, Scott Tolzien is the quarterback's coach.
Scott Tolzien, correct. Drew, I'm not saying he's not, buddy. I'm not. I'm just, again, everybody gets all worked up. What do you want us to do? Just go off air until July 27th? We need to talk about something. This is a subject I'm talking about. All they're doing, Drew, I live here in Philly. Leo will tell you. What's up, Leo? He'll tell you the same thing. They're regurgitating the same stupid shit here with Nick Sirianni is on the hot seat and ain't going to make it to the bye week or maybe make it to the bye week. This is what we're hearing, Drew. I'm sorry, but that's what we're hearing, and we're going to talk about it. All right, I'll see everybody at your training camp. Unfortunately, it don't work that way. We run trivia here. We'll do like shows every week, and I'll just ask trivia questions, which would be fun. But again, I'm just covering.
Maybe you
what
can
I'm
do that
hearing.
once in a while.
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. But Leo, I'm just saying.
Hey, Ruben.
This is what they're talking about in Philly here. Phillies are getting killed on TV. I'm a little annoyed because I'm watching the Phillies game and the manager just got ejected. So I'm a little on edge. But, it's like this is what we talk about this time of year, okay? We're talking about BS. But again, I don't know. Let me ask Leo. Leo, aren't you a little concerned when you have 7-on-7 or you have OTA practice where the defense is not doing much and you're having problems throwing the ball on time? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen when there's an actual pass rush on you? Okay, it's a little sketch. That's all I'm saying. No, let's talk real football stuff. All right, well, bring me a topic that's real, Drew. I don't know. Again, I'm plugged into Eagles even though Leo just agreed with me that this is all they're talking about in Philly. It's not all bad, but it's a lot of bad. They're waiting for shit to fall apart instead of being positive. So I'm just telling you, Drew, that's what they're talking about, brother. League commander. Jerry is hesitant to pay the stars because he's not sure they have the level to get over the hump. The Packer game hit Jerry deep in his soul. Yeah, it hit
It
him all
did.
right.
There it was. Glory hole.
There it was, glory hole. Yeah, and Sight and Trop says they're going to implode. And again, I'm not here to make this stream like negative. I welcome positivity, especially when it comes to the Eagles and Dallas. But let's be honest, that's not going to happen. My Eagles subscribers normally there's an occasional something positive. Normally it's Dallas sucks, Dak sucks, you're never going to win. You know, that's what you get from that side, and I'm just used to it living here. Let's talk about how Kellen won't run the ball. David Cowboy, we could talk about it, but again, I think, and I want Troy's opinion on here, and everybody else wants to hop in. Just go to the community tab and hop on in. What do you think, Troy, about Kellen Moore changing up his offense, which is what I'm hearing he's going to be doing? He's going to cater it to Jalen Hurts. Do you think that's the right move, or do you think he should run his offense and try and fit Jalen in it?
Well, he tried that with Herbert and with the Chargers last year, which really didn't work out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Jalen, I don't think he's a pocket passer.
What's up,
I
Kid
really
Cowboy?
don't. I think if you try and keep Jalen in the pocket, he's going to get nervous. He's going to try and run.
Sight drops. Leo
Yeah,
Bridgewater. It's quite possible we haven't been told everything in this regard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way, from a Dallas fan, and this is, just looking at it. I hate to tell people, I get caught up in the chat. I will, and I'll get a little loud and defend, but ultimately, I think the best thing to do with Jalen is to cater to him. I think you're doing the player a disservice if you're just going to try and force a system. You knew what you were getting, Kellen, when you came to Philly. You got a guy who's best used when he's mobile, and he's sucking the defense in, and then he hits you over the top, or the read option RPO, hold on, and then bust it out the outside or up the A gap for 40 yards. That's what makes Jalen scary.
Yeah, he's definitely not a pocket passer. There's no way in.
And to say that, it sounds bad, because I think Dak is better when he's not a pocket passer. You know what I'm saying? I think Dak is better when he's on the move too. Remember his first few years in the league when he dropped back, and he's gotten a lot better, Dak, when reading and throwing, but he still has issues from time to time. He'll have that blind spot where he just doesn't see the damn linebacker sitting back there in the hole. All quarterbacks do that, but he does it. Whereas I think when he's getting out and running, you're sweating a little bit and letting his athletic ability take over. I think that's where Dak's at his best, and I think Jalen definitely is at his best that way. Not a running, not a running
pocket,
playing. Yeah, sight and trap.
I think if Kellen Moore tries to keep him in the pocket, Jalen's going to have a bad year.
Well, that's why I don't think Jalen can adapt. I think Kellen has to adapt to Jalen. Jalen made his contract by doing what Jalen does. Doing what they tried to do last year, I thought was a little ridiculous. They need to go back to mixing in more RPO. You have a good offensive line. You have arguably one of the most talented running backs, although he can't stay healthy. Maybe with this offensive line, he can, like what McCaffrey did when he went to San Fran. All of a sudden, he can stay healthy now. I don't think Kellen is going to try and make him into something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Leo. I don't think that would be smart. That would be, I think Kellen's looking at it. Just remember this too, Leo and Drew. Kellen was in Dallas, right? While in Dallas, there was an offseason right before he left. It was the year before he left. He went to his alma mater, Boise State, the blue fields, He went there to
Smurf turf.
Yeah, he went there to interview for the head coaching job. Interview didn't go well. They hired, I'm not sure, maybe true. Troy could find out who beat him out, but somebody beat him out. It should have been Kellen's job. He wanted that job. That's where he's from. That's what he wanted. He didn't get the job. He begrudgingly came back to Dallas. Dallas went on to lose to San Fran again. You remember we beat Tampa Bay that on the road. Tom Brady's last game. Everybody says, "Oh, that wasn't a good win." A road playoff win's a road playoff win, but that argument's for another day. I'm not gonna. To me, that's stupid to even say that wasn't a good win. That that's not. I'm not going to value your opinion if you tell me Eagles go on the road and beat anybody. That wasn't a good win. That was a hell of a win. That was more of an impressive win than the Eagles beating the Giants at home in their Super Bowl run. You're on the road, man. That's not an easy thing to do. But yeah, he, and then he went. Yeah,
I think it was either Brian Harrison or Andy. I can't remember his last name.
yeah,
Starts
but it's
with a name.
nobody that's in the NFL with the number
No.
one offense. That's what I'm trying to say. Remember, he had the number one offense in Dallas, points scored,
Yeah.
and went and interviewed, and they didn't give him the job. So he came back for Dallas. Dallas beat Tampa, went into 49ers. That was the game that the running back got hurt. We lost Tony Pollard, and we ended up losing that game again. And
Okay, Eagles. We know you're saying that the Cowboys are going to go 7-10. You don't need to keep flooding it in there.
yeah, again, I'll tell you both twice. You're wrong. You're wrong. How's that, buddy?
There we go.
You're wrong and you're wrong. But if you tell
Hey,
me
Brad.
now, after the season, whatever. But right now, there ain't no way in hell we're going 7-10. Vegas is also saying 10.5. So okay, I'll give you worst case 8 or 9, best case 11 or 12. That's about it.
Hey, I've already got a mark. 12-5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna go 11, maybe 10. I haven't locked it in, but I think we'll be fine. Obviously, barring injury. But then fast forward, we end up moving on from Kellen after a San Fran loss on the road, where we had a chance to win, and Dak did not shine in that game. That game was just as much on Dak as it was anybody else on the Cowboys. We should have won that game, or at least kept it close. We had our opportunity, and then Kellen's gone. Kellen goes to the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, what excuse do we have for Kellen last year? Does anybody have a good excuse why?
No.
I mean,
I'll be right back.
yeah. All right. I mean, what excuse do we have for Kellen? Eagles. Who the hell's saying that we have a better team? All right, there you go. Hey, Eagles. You're skating on thin ice, my man. You don't know what you're talking about. So, there we go.
I don't have the patience to jack with you today. Settle down just a little bit.
Settle down, my man. Settle down. Again, here we go with people, getting negative. Nobody asked for your stupid comment. It's about hilarious about, again, there's no need. We're talking about Kellen Moore. It's a fair conversation. What is going on? So we're not allowed to talk about Trey Lance, his sucking it up at OTAs. We're not allowed to talk about Dak because half of you love him and the other half can't stand him, and either one of you can get along. You can't talk about Kellen Moore because we don't know where. So what the fuck are we gonna do? Are we just gonna sit here and I'll just ask everybody trivia questions? How's that? Yeah. Well, we'll do Jeopardy, football Jeopardy, which would be fun, like I said, but I don't have no friggin' Jeopardy questions. Didn't Kellen have the Cowboys in the top? Yes, he did. That's what I'm saying, lead commander. Lead commander. Kellen had the offense humming. I'm not here saying it was Kellen's fault. But what I'm trying to get to is we're talking about Trey Lance is struggling, okay? There is not a pass rush. There is not a pass rush right now. We'll see if it gets better. I just said 2 weeks ago on a live stream that I'm not going to pay Dak $60 million, and that I hope that Kellen Moore, that Trey Lance can win the job. That's better for the Cowboys. In my opinion. Sight and Traps talk about the Jones failures at GM. We could do that. You're in the hopper too. I'm waiting for a West Virginia country boy because I do have, the ticket that I filled out. So let's see here. Sight and Traps. You are in the hopper. So I got to add 15. We're up to 17. We're up to 17 towards our 75. So, or no, we're up to 15. We're up to 22 because I got $5 the other day. So we're a third of the way there. Sight and Traps, you're in the hopper. So, Leo, I'm convinced Kellen hasn't had his amount of talent on one team and both sides. But that's a very, I don't know how I could argue with that. Honestly, I don't know how we could argue the offense that he has with Philly this year, talent-wise. 2 number 1 receivers, top 5 tight end. Arguably the best offensive line in the league. We'll see how it is without Kelsey. It'll take a step back, but that doesn't mean it's going to take a step back out of the top 5. We shall see. You went out and got a Saquon Barkley. I don't know how anybody can honestly, when it comes to the Eagles offense, he has, let's put it this way, Leo and Bobby. If Kellen doesn't get the job done with this talent, then he ain't that guy. Are we, can we agree on that? What's up, Vinny Hagan? How are you, brother? Not throwing shade at the Cowboys. No. But that's a clear thought with some substance behind it, not just somebody running their mouth. You ought to run your mouth. Texas Poker, what's up, my man? Game Time Brian, this live show is 100% better than Dak Lover Marco's live show. Mark always thinks he's correct. It's true. Dak filed a restraining order. Oh, my God. Texas Poker, what's going on? Thank you for the super chat. You'll be in the hopper. And I'm going to add the 5. Let's see. Texas Poker. I'm just keeping it real, people. People get too butthurt. I mean, what Leo said in the comment section of this morning, go back and check it out. That was an absolute asinine thing to say. You can have your opinion, all right? But to tell me to do my homework when I'm trusting a Super Bowl winning scout and I'm not at OTAs. I'm just letting you guys know. Here you go, Texas Poker. You're in the hopper. So we're over a third of the way there for our next drawing. I'm just bringing up stuff to talk about. Why does everybody get all bent out of shape over nothing?
Hey, who's Philly's backup right now then? Is it Pickett?
You got Kenny Pickett, and I'm not sure who their third guy is, but I would imagine they're going
Maybe Leo can chime in
Jalen has no
comments.
excuses with this offense. Twiz, that's all. Again, I'm not trying to be negative. We're talking football. I don't understand what you want me to talk about. What do you want me to just shit on Dak? My honest opinion of Dak is, Troy, my honest opinion is I think we can win with Dak. But that doesn't mean just because I think we can win and I'm afraid to go away unless I know I have something, that comes from, Troy, that comes from years of not having a starting quarterback who could get us to the playoffs. You know what I mean? So
when we've had the likes of
Tanner McKee, okay, I think he was an ex
Carter. Yeah, Tanner is. I think so too.
He's the
we
guy.
had Carter. God, what was his first name?
What's
Or
that?
number 17.
Starting
quarterback.
Yeah, we had Quincy Carter. We had a lot.
Quincy Carter.
We had
Quincy
a lot
Carter.
of failure.
We had Hutchinson. We had Henson. We had Ryan Leaf. We had Vinny Testaverde for a couple of years. We had Drew Bledsoe. I mean, that was all within a span after between Troy Aikman and Tony Romo. We had quite a few quarterbacks that just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I agree.
And now that we have, I think we've got a competent staff that can go out there and now evaluate talent in the colleges and say, hey, yes, this is our quarterback. I mean, look at Dak. He wasn't drafted till what, the 4th round?
Yeah, 4th round.
How often are you going to find those?
Yeah,
Not very often.
yeah. No,
And
that's
Dak-
why. Yeah. Well,
Dak seized
like
his
Kid
moment.
Cowboy 66 is anti-Dak, and he's entitled to his opinion again. But you can't sit here and say, you can't say, and I'll get to you, Texas Poker. You can't just sit there and say he's a total failure. Yeah, he hasn't won enough in the playoffs, but it's not like he hasn't won a playoff game. He has won 2, but it's, again, I take it as the team has won 2. I say Dak's I think Dak's had 2 bad losses against the 49ers in the playoffs. Last year, as much as I thought Dak didn't look good, I think my eyes tell me the whole team choked. But I would give you the home game against the Niners and the road game against the Niners were there for the taking, and he came up short. That's fair to me. But again, you're entitled to your opinion. I just don't like people coming in my comments calling me names or saying shit. I don't got time for that. You got to go if that keeps up. That's all. My channel's growing, whether you want to be a part of it or not. That's on you. I let everybody talk, but there's no reason to say some of the stupid, vile
Leo
shit.
just hit it
I know, I'm
right
getting
on
it.
the head.
Lou Branch,
Leo.
what's up? That's what I try and do, Lou, man. I try and keep it 100, but you see what happens when I do. It doesn't matter what I do. People get pissy. Whatever, man. You guys got to feel however you feel. What did Leo say?
He just said, it's not the QB play that's so bad.
There you
It's
go,
the
Lou.
supporting pieces.
But
I mean-
I agree, but I'm sorry. I'm going to be a little more critical of Dak than that. I just am. I'm just going to be honest. Dak needs to be better when the games count.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all. And that's just my opinion. That doesn't mean I'm right, but I'm the one that
He's
that's
got to be like
streaming,
Troy
so-
Aikman was. Yeah,
It-
he's got to be like Troy Aikman was and
Well,
call out
again,
players.
I've never seen, like Mark will say, and I love Mark, but he'll sit there and bring up Troy Aikman stats, which it disappoints me because, if Troy Aikman, he said it time and time again, if Troy Aikman played in an offense where they wanted him to throw the ball 30 times, he would have. He went from the University of Oklahoma, where they wanted him to run the friggin' wishbone, for crying out loud,
Yeah, of all.
to going to
ways.
UCLA, where he set the school records. If he was in Buffalo, Troy Aikman would have been Jim Kelly, but with Super Bowls. Sorry, that's what he would have been. They didn't ask him to do it, so they're we're gonna have revisionist history and bring up stats to shit on a 3-time Super Bowl winner. I'm gonna keep that real. You know what I'm saying? That's just what cracks me up. But I don't know. You want to get into this, Troy? Just know that it gets frustrating at times because
I bet it does.
I'm about as fair as a person as can be. We can all joke and have fun, but my God, people need to just lighten the F up. Who is winning the division? I'm having the Eagles, but Larry Woods, you hopping in or what? Dak will make it through, and how's it going, Game Time Cowboy Nation? Larry, I'm doing good, brother. Waiting for you to hop in here. Put you in the hopper. I think I'm fair. I answered it. I said if I had to pick now, I would say the Eagles. I think that's pretty fair. I don't know, but that doesn't mean. See, I could say that and say I believe Dallas is making the playoffs. So it's almost like these two fan bases. One has to be good, and the other one has to suck. And I get it. Once the game starts, I get that whole F Dallas, you suck. Dallas wins the game. Dallas still sucks. I get that. I'm talking about now in the offseason. We can't like come to some consensus, or it's just funny to me. So you don't have a prediction. I just got done saying I think that the Eagles are going to win the division. So that would be a no.
And I'm going the other way. I think Dallas wins it.
Yeah, and
5.
And I'm not freaking out on Troy because he thinks that, I'm not. I'm not. We're up to 47.
That's just me.
So we're
That's
up to
just me.
yeah, and that's fine. Listen, I hope I'm wrong, for crying out loud. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm
I'd
going
like to
with
see
Vegas.
a fourth straight 12-5. Yeah, Vegas has them at 10.5 better.
Yeah, so
or better.
okay, I think they're right around 10, 11 wins. If I had to, my God, I haven't made my prediction yet. I make 2 predictions, one before training camp and one after, and I should just make the one because the one I did before training camp last year was dead on for the Eagles and the Cowboys. I tweaked Dallas by 1 and gave them 11 instead of 12 last year because of all the injuries, and it didn't matter. Why?
Yeah.
We had such an easy schedule. That's why.
At 12-5, I think Dallas will take the division, but I've got the Eagles at 11-6 right behind them again.
Yeah, and
If
listen,
not 10-7.
I mean, I think 11, whoever has 11 could very well win the division. Mark
Yeah.
takes me off when he says Jalen has only 23 TDs. He only tells part of the story. Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at, because when you just sit there and look at numbers, you don't get a full story. Like, again, you Dak, and listen, Brad, I know Brad's a huge Dak Prescott fan. I love Dak, but if I have to put him and Lamar on the table and I got to pick one, I would go Lamar Jackson. And I know a lot of people get upset at that. I did a thing yesterday. It's close. It's not like it's a slam dunk, but it's close. I think Dak may throw the ball slightly better, but give me the guy who's just unbelievably athletic who can make shit happen. He's a 2-time MVP winner. There's something to be said for that.
Hey, Brian,
Yes.
Eagles has put a challenge in their comments to us. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, you got to wear a Jalen jersey.
That's not a problem at all.
No
That's
problem for me.
Yeah, that's not again.
Heck, I'll take that bet.
I can't pay $60 million. He needs to meet in the middle, like 50. Again, Curtis, again.
I think that's what they're talking about right now is I think both Dak and the Cowboys are right around that mid 50 million year. But there's just some other things that may be tying it up. But I think they're getting close. I think they are really getting close to a good contract.
I will take that bet to Troy, Larry Woods.
Yeah, he's going to take the Eagles.
Don't own
bet,
agree in
too.
anything. Vinny, I have some of these hats. If I pick anybody out, there you go. I got a Kelly Green Game Time Brian hat there, Leo. Look at that. That's high end merch right there. This is my new hat. It's the Royal. So, what would
you
I
got those
pay
on,
Dak? Keep waiting, and the number will keep going. Yeah, a Twiz. It is what it is at this point. I think it may come out at $300 million, $60 a year.
I think so.
But I think the guarantees will be far less than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It won't be West Virginia country boy. There you go, brother. I just wanted you to see this. That's your super chat from the other day. I'm putting you in the hopper. I was waiting for you. So I already did that. I already put Coyotes in. You are in the hopper. So I already tallied
Take care,
it.
Curtis. Be careful tonight at work, okay?
All right, Curtis, be careful, buddy. It's not about the money, Kid Cow. Yeah, I know it isn't for you. I mean, I don't really, at this point,
I just wonder if...
I think it's better for Dak if he moves on, honestly.
Yeah, I do too.
Dak for life in Dallas. But yeah, I know, Drew. Here we go. Yeah, you're pissing Brad off, Drew. I keep getting texts. He wants me to remove everybody's mods. Brad.
I thought Brad had that.
Here's why Dallas doesn't win playoff games. They are making a marketing company that plays football. Yes, I agree, Texas Poker. That's what we've morphed into. We've had so much success in the 90s that they got kind of high on their laurels and they focused on building the brand, right? We've gotten away from what made us good, right? And now you see them putting $100 million into Comstock instead of putting $100 million into their football team. You know what I mean? I keep hearing the thing, well, they always spend to the cap, they always spend all the cap. I get it. But it's about the amount of money you shell out and how you divvy it up over the incoming years. So I don't think they're doing a very good job. Fish says that 53 brands. What do you mean? Vinny Hagen, what's that mean? He's getting 53? It's not money if he doesn't have the talent. 10-year vet. Is he 10 years? I thought it was going on 9.
He was 9. He's
Yeah.
9.
But I hear you. Nike 3, if you guys move off of Dak, don't you see that a step in the wrong direction in terms of building a Super Bowl this year? Absolutely. If Dak's not
Yeah,
here
we
this
would-
year, that now you're looking at the 7 wins. Absolutely. If
Yeah,
Dak's not the
Between
starter,
6 and 7 wins. Yeah.
yeah, like if Dak gets hurt, God forbid, now you're looking at that 6 or 7 wins. And listen, I got news for you. How I used to be, everybody, yeah, they do suck at contracts, West Virginia country boy. How I used to look at it as a Dallas fan, if we never got to the Super Bowl, right, then I hope that we end up not winning double-digit wins and getting a good draft pick, because that's what it ultimately is about. You know, when Dak got hurt that year and we were able to pick up a couple players high in the draft, that's kind of how you build your team, you know? That's how we got a CeeDee Lamb. Real question for Dallas fans: has Dak reached his ceiling going? Drew, ceiling as far as what? As far as personal stats? Yeah, but obviously not his team goals. No. So if you're talking about 36 touchdowns and 9 INTs, I think he could be slightly better than that, but that's relatively his ceiling. But a ceiling as far as a professional, no, he can win a Super Bowl, whether it's here or whether it's with the New York Giants, whether it's with Washington Command, well, not Washington, whether it's with the New Orleans Saints, whether it's with the Oakland Raiders. I'm hearing Tampa Bay now is on the table next year. So, you know, I think no, Drew, in my opinion, the ceiling is not reached with Dak. Maybe in Dallas, but not as a personal, not as a player. No. Sometimes it's a weight lifted leaving this organization. How many times, Troy, do you see a player leave and just kind of have a breath of fresh air because of all the pressure and the expectations from playing for the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
It
It's
happens
not
every
easy.
year.
Exactly, Devil Dog. He has to win when it matters most. Everything else don't mean nothing. Eagle fans, and I bet you, a kid Cowboy can agree with this. Dak could come out and set a Cowboy record, which I think is 41 touchdown passes and I don't know 4,600 yards or I don't know some number. But if we lose in the first round of the playoffs or the second, I'm sorry, but you need to get past the second round.
Yeah.
Then it's a failure. Am I not wrong in that assumption? Let's say Dak has 40 touchdowns and 4,800 yards with 9 INTs, okay? But he loses in round 2 or round 1 of the playoffs. Is it not a losing year? Absolutely.
To
in
me,
my
that
opinion.
is a losing year. Yeah, we need to get to the NFC Championship game at least.
I like
for
the
him to be
emojis. No more
successful.
tomato cans. What do you want me to do? Dak can't go with the game plan if it's going in the wrong. Yeah. Sight and Chops. I can't disagree with you, brother. Hey, game time. Mr. Prescott, is there a mental thing in the playoffs? How could he fix that? I don't know, man. I think, we used to get mad at Danny White, right, Troy? We used to get mad at
Yes,
him because
we
he
did.
couldn't win in the champion. Danny White was Donovan McNabb. Now, I tend to think that if Danny got to a Super Bowl, he wouldn't have puked in the huddle. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be mean but I think Donovan was Danny. Danny won so
Yep.
many playoffs games, and Danny was Donovan, but he could not get over the championship game. Now,
Yep. Let's say he ran
Donovan
into the
did.
Redskins, the
yeah.
Niners, and the Eagles. Those 3. He went 3 years in a row.
Deer in the headlights. I got you, brother. Deer in the
Yeah.
headlights. Pull. Never
mean,
happened. What would
Don't
never
get me
happen?
wrong. I love Danny White. Watching him play.
You mean
was
he
great.
won't do it? Well, see, Kid Cowboy, that's how I have to question you a little bit. He had 36 and 9. So why couldn't he have 40 and 9? You got to remember the first 5 games of the season last year were crap for Dallas. Remember, they went into a room
Oh
over
my
the bye week,
gosh.
and then him and CD and McCarthy went at it and came up, pause, and came up with a game plan that was better suited for and then they took
Yeah.
off. So I don't see how he couldn't.
Now, the thing I hated with Danny White, though, is he was the punter as well.
Yeah, hell of a punter.
Oh,
he was
was
McNabb. He
great.
was Randall before Randall. Randall was the
Yeah,
punter.
exactly.
Yeah, I believe the team
exactly.
feeds off of the quarterback, though. Yeah, and to a man, most of them love Dak. That's what's so frustrating, Lou. Non-Eagle
other thing,
fans
too-
maybe don't know that.
The other thing too with that is with Danny White, Tom Landry just could not settle on a quarterback with
Yeah,
him. It was Roger or not Roger. It was Roger and what's his name all over again. They just could not settle on, who was going to be the starting quarterback.
yeah. Game time is not just the playoffs, 22 and 25. I hear you, Drew. I hear you. And if they take a step back, then, I'm hoping they don't re-sign him then. To me, Drew, I don't expect them to take a step. Now, even if they lose a lot of the close games, I did a worst case scenario, and I think I ended up with 8 or 9. Like, I'm talking about horrendous. I still think the schedule actually, the Washington Commanders' schedule is way worse than the Cowboys. I think the Eagles is slightly easier than Dallas, not much. And I think the Giants have the easiest schedule in the division. I actually think the Commanders finish last, in my opinion. I think the Commanders finish last in this division. I'm just telling you, in my opinion. I know it's a weird opinion. Danny White, 45 years ago. We're just Kid Cowboy. We're just talking about comparisons to not getting over the hump. We were spoiled. Danny White could not get past the championship game, and we have bitched about that.
3 years in a row he couldn't. I said it. The Eagles, the Redskins.
Could you
and the
imagine,
Niners.
Kid Cowboy, if Dak got to the championship game 3 years in a row and lost? I mean, all right. The first year we were like, okay, well, at least he got to the championship game. No. You have to win. You have to win to get to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Eagles are going to bend the. Really, Eagles? A golden era? There you go. This is for you, brother.
Hey, there he is.
This is for you. There you go. That one's gone. The next time you say something stupid like that, you're out. All right? A golden era, there's no need for that. I knew when Jerry spoke after the game, a Green Bay game, he was pissed when he said this team will go as far as Dak takes us, and he takes us as far as he could. Spoke volumes. Lou Branch, and here's my thing. What's up, Loyal?
What's going on?
Here's my thing, Loyal. And we talked about this after the loss. I was ready to blow it up, move on. You don't do things halfway. Do not have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. If they have made their decision to not re-sign Dak, good, fine, great. You should have traded him before the draft. Don't tell me there wasn't nobody out there. Maybe Dak, I understand he had a no trade, but if you allow him to talk to certain teams, maybe he would have. Maybe. Who knows? You give anybody enough money, he'll be traded. But, you cannot come out and say you don't know. And I'll tell you, my opinion, Loyal, is they don't know that Trey Lance is the guy, which is why they're not willing to go out, you say
He hasn't
anything
played
like
enough.
that.
He hasn't played enough. The only thing he got going for him was he was a first round pick, but that's it. He hasn't done anything. I mean, he got hurt when he had his
hasn't.
opportunity. And then last year he got beat out by Sam Darnold on the roster in San Fran. That's why they let him go. So all of a sudden they're just goes, oh, Trey Lance is our guy. They don't know anything about him.
Right. Well, it's just team game. Trolls, learn football or leave. Relax, Brad. Relax.
Well, Joey, I'm really scared of Mark. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Looking at the tap,
I saw
Screen
it.
there.
I didn't say it. So I thought Mark already adopted Dak. Nah. Dak's got his father. Did you guys watch the? Here, let me pull it up. This. Hold on. You guys talk amongst yourself. Get to the chat. I'm gonna pull something up.
Okay, I'm looking here. What's going on, Vinny? What's going on, Twiz? Happy Father's Day,
Hey,
everybody.
I'm Matt with Me Church. Let's do it.
Same to you, Loyal.
Yeah, only kid I got is my dog, but I guess you can say that's my kid. But
Hey, that's your kid. Yeah.
Did you guys see this where Dak does a crawfish boil with the team?
2-pot
No.
crawfish boil for Father's Day.
It's actually making me hungry. There we go,
gosh,
Kid
yes, it
Cowboy. Waxahachie. Or is that what it is?
Well, we've done a lot of crawfish videos on this
Man,
channel.
look at
Crawfish
these
is
meats.
very polarizing.
No better time to invite him, as you said, with Father's Day coming up.
Here's his
My
father.
Gotta get him
Nathaniel
in here.
Prescott. So Louisiana's here.
No, Drew, I don't see that happening.
Look familiar. Have a pleased to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So, baby. Thank you.
Always.
Thank you. Invite.
This is special.
Now, just real quick, do people still wear their cell phone like that?
What, on their hip?
I never did.
Come on, man. Dak, talk to your dad. Come on,
I did
man.
when they first came out, they did. I did.
Happy Father's Day. Game time. No,
I was the
don't
one
think so,
trashing
Drew.
Dak last year. What are you talking about, Joey? I didn't trash Dak.
Again,
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Dirty Sanchez, Lord, you don't have to be scared to call Mark, and he's a big teddy bear. Nobody's scared
Okay.
of nobody. Everybody thinks I'm
Okay.
scared of Mark. Mark made a mistake.
I've never trashed Dak. The only person I've ever trashed on the Dallas Cowboys is Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones.
Yep.
Mark
Because
asked
they're the
me-
ones that control everything.
Mark asked me a couple weeks ago, who would I take? How did I know that Trevor Lawrence would get $275 million? I said I would take Trevor Lawrence because of his age and his youth over Dak right now. I don't think Trevor's as good as Dak right now, but the ceiling is definitely higher.
I wonder if you put
Special.
Trevor
Talk
in
about-
Dallas.
Sitting here and I do. We've
Would
done
he
it
be
with
better?
Well, you gotta get
time,
talent
but
around Dak
Like somebody
first.
from Louisiana.
Dude,
has
I'll
a
take
hot boiled
Sunshine.
dogs, man.
This is awesome.
I'm
Two
sure
pot
you
though.
know, we've never
And
done
yeah,
two pots.
I've been
Right.
saying this
Done
all
two
along.
pots. So
Two pots.
the single
That-
pot, normally people.
I don't know. Maybe
honestly-
this year at the line, we might see a different Dak depending on how fast they develop.
Right.
But if you get some talent around Dak, I believe he could be just as good as Patrick Mahomes or
But
anybody.
we got
If
a
you get
lot
him
of
talent.
people in here that are saying, when is he not, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're basically saying we're making excuses when we say we don't, Dak hasn't.
Because
had
everybody
the
has
talent.
turnovers. I don't care if it's Jalen Hurts, Tom Brady, Joe Montana, anybody, any quarterback on any given day can have a bad day and throw a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
There ain't no quarterback out there that you can say,
Ooh,
"Oh, this quarterback, he's never thrown any interceptions or anything else."
I do
I
not
want
like
to hear
that
somebody
car,
in
man.
the comments tell me that. Explain.
I
that
don't
one to
like
me.
that one.
No, that was that's Frank Joseph. That's who that was.
Did you see that, Matt? Mark sacrifices.
Yeah, that's
chickens
Frank
comment.
Joseph. He's
It was a
yeah. Let's see here. Jalen last year, it wasn't so much the interceptions. He fumbled. I think he had 15. Let's see. Oh man, stats. Jalen Hurts. He had 15 interceptions, but he had. I'm trying to see how many fumbles.
Yeah,
he-
Hamid. Okay, you say Dak had no talent in 9 years. Well, the one thing they've been missing is a defense. I mean, yeah, they've had some weapons on offense, but
I think
along
they're
with
gonna
that
get-
offense, you need to have a complete team.
I
First.
think they're getting a couple of key pieces
And they need to
back
go
this
all
year.
in and sign some players, which is what Catboy won't do. Because, like y'all was saying a little bit ago, it's a market first organization
Yeah,
that happens to have a football team. They got back, they lost their winning ways.
well, I'm glad they're going to get a couple key pieces back this year too.
So he had 5 lost fumbles, 9 Jalen had 9 fumbles last year, 5 of them lost. So that's all that. So he had actually 20 turnovers. That's a lot. He can't have that this year. Jalen needs to protect the ball, hand the ball off, especially early in the season. My opinion, Jalen Hurts needs to, or the Eagles need to run the damn ball, run it. Run it, run it, run it, run it, run it, setting up play action, and then let this offense come to Jalen. Run defense woes has cost Dallas 3 playoff games.
Yes, it has.
A sight and Trops, thank you, my man. Again, I'm going to keep it 100, and I agree with you. But 2 of those games we should have won. Yeah, there's Frank Josephs again. Mark Holmes, that's another Frank. So we can get rid of him.
That's the other one, yeah.
There you go. There you go. Lady Lieber got him.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right, Vinny. We haven't really had that scary defense. I mean, we tried
There
Dan
you go,
Quinn.
Sighton.
And Dan Quinn was okay, but he just didn't know how to draft tackles and have them do what they needed to do. They were just too small. And anybody that could run over us that had a running game.
Don't try and come in here and pretend to be Mark Holmes and use his picture. We know the real Mark Holmes. Ah, the US Open is on, huh? Who's winning right now, kid? Who's in the leaderboard?
Yeah, Sighton, you're right. Run defense woes has costed Dallas 3 playoff games.
Yeah, it has.
That and physicality.
The bad part about it was we didn't have true linebackers.
Nope. Well, we
Because we
did. I
lost them.
mean, LVE, but the problem with LVE is he just couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah. And now it's forced him out.
Mm-hmm. They're saying Kendrick's going to have the green dot on his helmet.
Is
On
it
the
Kendricks
defense.
this year?
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Cool. Cool.
They brought in, sorry, I was talking, but I was muted. They brought in 4 UFL guys, but they can't sign anybody until after the
Until
game.
after today.
So look for them to bring in a linebacker. Don't look for them to sign DeAndre Baker. I don't expect him.
I think they did bring one in, and I think they're ready to sign that person, aren't they?
Yeah, I have the name. I did a video on it this morning. They what's his name? They brought in
Oh my gosh, he was the first one they brought in.
Harvey Jr.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they brought in Noah Dawkins. I don't think they'll keep him. DeAndre Baker, the first round defensive back out of the Giants, who had an armed robbery. I don't think he's going to be on the team. And Gary and Conley, expect Gary and Connolly to be on the team. Gary and Connolly, the ex-Ohio State guy, probably will make the squad. So,
Oh, yeah.
Good.
He will.
yeah. So I expect Gary and Connolly and Willie Harvey Jr. to be added after the UFL game. And people laugh and say nobody's saying they're going to be these dynamic players, even though the last 2 guys we got from the UFL have made a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. I think
So,
I think this linebacker that they've got now that they looked at, last week, I think he's going to work out real good.
yeah, he's
I mean, I watched
5'11",
him.
230. He's like a fire plug who stuffs the run. But again, what we're going to need is a defensive tackle. We'll see what
Yeah.
the rookies can do, but I got to keep it 100. I can't say, well, the Eagles are going to struggle in the secondary because they got rookies, and then not say that we are going to struggle on the defensive line if we're counting on rookies. We need to go out and get.
And we're going to find out real fast week 1.
I love Spanford. I think Peyton Hendershot is on his way out, Sighton. I really do. Oh,
I do
yeah,
too.
White is the real
Joe
deal.
Garcia says, so loyal. So last year, Green Bay lost live stream. You weren't bashing Dak, and Mark called you out for it. I have the proof. Maybe I was a little mad.
What's
But-
that?
He's talking
During the
about
Green Bay
last year in
game
the
last
live
year.
stream on the Green Bay game.
Yeah, I had a damn bag over my head. I
Yeah.
have.
I was mad.
I
You
see
know what?
Ultra's in the house. Ultra, I got your bottle, man. I'm ready for the season, bro. So once it starts going, God forbid it goes downhill, I'm gonna be popping that shit open. I'm either gonna drink it in victory or agony of defeat. Somehow, I think I think I know where. Yeah, I think I know where Ultra thinks it's gonna be agony of defeat. I'm gonna have a paper bag on my head with a hole from my mouth to drink the bottle he gave me in
But
Detroit.
it might be a rough year for us this year. Defense isn't any good. If the defense is like middle of the pack, we might have
Yeah, that's
a rough
big.
time this year.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. I expect it to be. I don't expect it to be as dynamic as last year, but that doesn't mean we'll see, man. We'll see. Leo says, "What's up, Wade?"
What up, Leo?
Drew, ask away. What are you curious about, Devil Dog? What about Dak throwing 5 interceptions in 3 playoff games? That's Dak's fault. That's Dak's fault. It is.
Like Brian, I don't blame Dak for everything. I know Mark, me and Mark argue about Dak, but Dak's a good quarterback. But like my whole
got you,
thing
Ultra.
about, my whole thing, like argument with Mark is like, okay, like if I'm going to put any game on Dak, it's that second game against the 49ers. Like that's when you needed him to like elevate because you're the franchise quarterback. He
Yeah.
threw those 2 picks that were costly.
Yes.
And that was the difference in the game is that Brock Purdy did not throw that
Yeah,
pick.
because Brock
Did not make the passes that put his team in jeopardy. Dak
Brock
was doing
didn't.
that.
Yeah, because Brock didn't kill his own team. Brock didn't do anything real special either, but he didn't have to, right? He just had to manage. Shout out to Ultra Cowboy. He gave me this when we met in Detroit. So
And then in Green Bay, the Green Bay game, the whole team collapsed. But what disturbed me the most is that Dak looked literally defeated when Green Bay
They were
drove
shell-shocked.
down the field.
They
and
were
scored.
shell-shocked that
Like
game.
Dak, you don't need to look shell shocked in year 8.
deer in the
Like, come
headlights,
on.
right? Deer in the
I
headlights.
mean,
yeah.
I
agree.
wish Jimmy John. Now you guys watched the halftime when Jimmy Johnson gave that speech.
Yeah.
Man, that's what we need. We need that voice in the locker room. We
And
need
you know,
somebody
Nate
like
Newton
that. that's
talked
gonna-
about that. Nate Newton talked because they asked Nate Newton, "What do you think about Dak?" And he said, his first words. Nate Newton said, "It's year 8, and I do not like the way my quarterback looked in that playoff game on the sideline. And year 8, I do not like the way he looked."
Yeah.
He said Troy wasn't like that. Troy was not looking like that on our sidelines. Like he was ready to go.
Now, since I got Wade in here, I know where he sits, but I just want to, because he's like-minded, I think. I get so annoyed when anybody brings up Troy's stats. Wade, do you agree with me that if Troy Aikman was in an offense that required him to throw the ball 30 times, he would have excelled in that just as much as handing the ball off?
Yes.
I mean, if he played for Buffalo, Buffalo would have won a freaking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. I know people I'm tired of hearing about Troy's
I think
stats.
if the 49ers
fuck?
had Troy Aikman, they would have won the Super Bowl. Like in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I just think Troy was I'm not saying Steve Young was
His
bad. He's a Hall
accuracy
of
was
Fame
good.
quarterback. I'm not, Steve Young is a Hall of Fame quarterback, but and Brett Favre's Hall of Fame, but Troy Aikman was outplaying them dudes in the playoffs.
because his accuracy was good.
Yeah. Twiz, I'm just saying that, I don't like when people hammer because he didn't. Yeah.
He's the winningest quarterback of the decade of the 90s. He went to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years and won them. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, because when you go back and look at those games, I was at I went to a game in 92 and 93 at the old Texas Stadium. When you go back, there was never a point where they were just rolling everybody. It was never that way. Eagles would always seem to find a way to split with us back then. Yeah. Eagles would always beat the hell out of Troy, especially in Philly. I was at those games. Yeah. Everybody has revisionist history like we just ran everybody. The one thing you could see on tape was when our running game got going. Then you could just see the magic of the offensive line and Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith was the man.
I mean, hell, Brian, just tell everyone, go back and watch those conference title and playoff highlights, especially like the first one against San Francisco in 92. Troy Aikman was making the throws that literally won the Cowboys the game. Literally, that throw to Alvin Harper that went down to dude, that literally put
Should
the
have
game
scored
out
on the
of
damn
reach.
play, but yeah, definitely, yeah.
And he was dumping it off to Emmett. Emmett was like wide open. Troy was not taking those risky throws. Troy was making good decisions.
Yeah.
Like that's what you need your quarterback to do. And like he didn't see anyone open, Emmett's wide open. Bam. And Emmett was gaining 15 yards every single time. Like if that's the thing is like I'm not saying Troy didn't throw picks, but when it came to the playoffs, Troy just didn't make bad decisions.
And you know what's
much.
even more like impressive when you go back, if you could find anything on YouTube. If you go back and Google Troy, right, and you Google his hard hits, you should see how many hits he stays in the pocket the extra split second and takes an unbelievable,
he takes bad hits.
ridiculous punishment, and the ball is right on the dime. Don't get me wrong. It's football's a team game. He took his beatings. He had some bad plays, but man, when I heard that he was literally throwing up and nauseous in the locker room before going out in his first Super Bowl in California there, and he was so nauseous, you would never have known it. He picked it up and went out, and that first half was friggin' phenomenal. It was just. I just feel like he gets crapped on because he never had this.
He talks about that. He did a sit down with Joe Buck. He talked about that.
Oh, did he?
Brian,
Really?
where he's like, yeah, he feels like I feel like I'm not respected. I know I'm respected, but I feel like I'm not looked at in this football world like the way, I could have been. He said, like, I really do feel like if Jimmy stayed, I maybe would have had, at least 5 rings, maybe.
Yeah, I did see that. I didn't know.
And if he would have won, if Jimmy stays and he gets even a 4th ring, if they win 4 in a row, or like people would look at Troy. You can't say a 4-time Super Bowl winning quarterback is garbage. You can't do that.
Well, yeah, I don't think.
I'm just saying it's ridiculous to call a 3-time Super Bowl winning quarterback mediocre. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's where like different eras, you see stats nowadays, and some of these, these guys who put up stats, they're hollow. It's a different game. Like Twiz is right. The big time different game. The way it's, like officiated, I'm not trying to be a killjoy here, but when you watch a game, as soon as the play is over, there's a shot downfield. You got the fans of the team who's throwing the ball wants a pass interference. You got the fans of the defensive team, saying it's not.
NFL was at its peak in the 90s. That was like peak NFL right there.
Well, that leads me into something I wanted to touch on. Does everybody think that the NFL QB salaries are topping off? Because I know Mark and other people are on the idea that these salaries are going to continue to rise and rise and rise. I think that the NFL salary cap is getting close to peaking. Down. I think it's getting ready to peak because once the streaming is done, what else is there really to do? You're going to add the game. You're going to add an extra game. I get it. There'll be more revenue. But like what they did with the running backs, don't you think that these owners are going to get together and say, listen, we need to control the quarterback salary. It can't be 25% of the overall roster.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, and I agree. Nate Newton was talking about that. He's like, I don't agree with one player. One player on a team cannot make 25% of your salary. It doesn't make any sense,
right?
Especially if they haven't won, especially if they haven't won your Super Bowls. Unless you're like a Patrick Mahomes or a Brady or a Manning or something like that. Like, yeah, those are the guys that probably deserve those big time, just absolutely ridiculous contracts.
Yeah, but
you're always going to be in it.
In saying that, though, I think they could also win with less. Look at what Mahomes is doing. He's winning with less.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell everybody, I'm sorry to my Dallas fans. Eagles were better than the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, talent-wise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
they were way better.
They should have won.
They should have won the damn Super Bowl. But you went up a guy. That's why.
But the one thing they lacked was game time experience. KC has experience. That's where they beat the Eagles.
That and in the important moments at the end of games. That's why I love Joe Burrow so much. And I get crapped on by a lot of people say he does nothing but get hurt. He's the one guy that's proven to not give a shit of what time he will go out and cut your throat. And he gets
He
injured.
did drag Cincinnati to the Super Bowl. He literally dragged.
I
that
mean, they
team.
had no offensive line. They suffered 2 ACLs on that O line in that year. He had 3 replaced offensive linemen and went to a Super Bowl. Man, he deserved to win that damn that. All right, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I love Joe Burrow. Again, is he the best athlete? No. But there's something about him, Mahomes, I don't think he's the best athlete. He's got a great arm. But I would say Josh Allen's a better athlete than Mahomes. But fucking Mahomes is deadly, man. I hope you're right, Kid
that's what it
Cowboy. I'm
comes
hearing a
down
lot of
to.
negative.
That's what it comes down to, Brian, is what can your quarterback do when you get to the playoffs?
Yeah, I agree,
Quarterback
man.
that makes the quarterback that makes the less mistakes and makes the throws, makes good decisions, and puts his team in the best places to win are the ones that get it done.
Yeah.
And that's why Brady went to 10 Super Bowls, because he was always putting his team in position to win or not making mistakes.
And if you were a team who played Brady and allowed him to be in the game with a drive to go, even Aaron Rodgers for a while there, Aaron Rodgers is just 40 years old. I still would be afraid to give Aaron
And I
Rodgers.
hated Tom Brady with the passion, but you could see it in his eyes. When the player came across and sacked him, he gave that. He didn't care if it was Warren Sapp or whoever it was. He gave him the death stare and he looked at him and he said, "I'm coming for you." And he took it. He was competitive. He didn't back down. He wasn't going to lay down after somebody hit him. He got right back up. He didn't fall. He didn't crumble under pressure.
Sight and traps.
He got up for that. I mean, he looked at these games and he's like, and that's what Dallas needs to learn how to do. When they need to stop looking at the calendar saying, "Oh shit, we got to play San Francisco." They need to get up for these games. They need to be fired up for these games. And they're not. They're just scared. They're the total opposite.
Yeah.
I'm kind of starting to get the feeling like I know, like we think they're going to go maybe 12-5 again, but I don't know. I have this feeling
I don't
this
think
year
so.
like
I don't think
we're
12.
probably
Troy
going to
does.
be worse. We're probably going to be worse. The reason why I'm saying is because, man, you went 12-5 3 years in a row. What are the chances of you doing it 4
Yeah,
years in a
right.
row? What are the chances
Very
of you going
good.
12-5 4 years in a row?
Very good.
I don't
How's it
think
going,
so,
fellas?
man.
Not
What's
if
up,
your
Larry?
defense,
Going on,
not
Larry?
if your defense this year is ass. I'll tell you
Well,
that.
like I said,
Well, like
they
I
need to
said
get up for
before,
these big
peeps.
games. They need to be looking at the TV right now and looking at all these people hating on them. They need to get fired up for that
Again,
and say, we're gonna prove these guys wrong. We're gonna
This
prove
team
Stephen
did
A.
it to
Smith
us.
and all these trolls wrong.
this team did it to us, though. This team, this organization is why we're like this. But don't get me wrong. When game 1 starts, I'm going to be rooting, and I think we're favored in 14 out of 17 games. So, again, this is the time.
The key part, Brian, is the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys come out with a decent record the first quarter of the season, and if they beat San Francisco, I'm gonna be like, okay, this team actually might be this team might be actually pretty decent this year. If they lose to San Fran, I'm sorry, it's same old song, same old story.
Exactly. I mean,
Hey, Wade, I agree with you there.
yeah.
I
Go ahead,
agree.
Larry. I'm sorry, brother.
Oh no, it's okay. Like, I was gonna say that San Francisco game is just the one that to me sticks out. And then the perfect thing about that, if I know a lot of people notice, we have that bye week before that game. And I know right now that bye week should be the week they should just look at and say, you know what, we need to prepare and get ourselves ready for this game.
Well, under the rules, they can't do
and hell,
anything
I'm
during
not
the bye
saying
week.
they need to beat San Fran. I'm not saying they need to beat San Fran. Like, if they lose to San Fran, don't get blown out. If you lose, it's got to be a close
I would
game
say
or
this,
win.
though. I'm going to say this, though. If you go in, I don't care at this point. If you lose a 3-point game, if you play great the whole game and you still lose, then then I am where I am right now, which really is just get me to the playoffs. Hopefully I have enough wins to make the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. But like Wade's saying, if we are 500-ish, maybe a little better, but I think the first few games are rough. So if we can be 4-2, something like that, and we beat the 49ers, then my mind changes a little bit. But as I sit here today,
I'll start having some confidence in the team.
Yeah, I would say the same. I would have at least some confidence after if they can.
If they get blown
pull it
out
on.
by San Fran, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I don't know what to think after this.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, it's pretty sucks that it really does suck. But when you look back at our great teams years and years and years ago, it was always about the playoffs anyway, right? It was always about, we very rarely did we run the gamut from beginning to end in any season. It's always been a relative struggle for the most part. Even back in the 90s, it's never easy to win a division over and over.
Yeah, that 95 Cowboys team had no business winning that Super Bowl that year.
No, not at all. Absolutely.
Well, the
not.
only reason we got in is because Green Bay did us a favor. Had we played San Fran that year, I believe San Fran would have beat the brakes off of us.
Yep, they would have.
Because you noticed that same year in the regular season, they beat the crap out of us.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we
yeah,
got
they
lucky
did.
because
Yeah,
we had the time.
yeah, I heard them talk about that. Like before that, when San Fran lost to the Green Bay Packers, literally the Cowboys, the whole mood in that locker room changed. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're running the table now. We're running the table," because they were worried about San Francisco.
Yeah, Ultra says Mike Zimmer is awesome versus the Shanahan offense. Won't be a blowout. He's better than Dan Quinn. I agree with Ultra, but Ultra, I know a lot of people don't. They just, especially a lot of the Eagle fans, Ultra, they want to just to crap on us and say, oh, well, now you're crapping on Dan Quinn. I'm not crapping on Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn did something that was great for our team, and his defense caused turnovers, but his teams could never beat the Shanahan. His team could never beat Shanahan. Mike Zimmer, we'll see. I like how Mike Zimmer runs a defense. He disguises a lot more. We just need some defensive tackles. That's the thing. Hey, there's the real Mark Holmes. Nobody you block.
There he is.
Happy Father's Day. How are you? Getting ready for your show, Mark? I'm warming them up for you. They're all in a frenzy, my man. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's. David, how are you, brother? Happy Father's Day. So yeah, man, I'm with Wade where it's like I'm excited, but I'm not excited about anything because if we shit the bed in San Fran, then I'm just going to be brought right back down. I'm kind of just holding my breath.
I'm just waiting.
Yeah, just stay afloat through the first few games, okay? And if for the record, I saw what's his name? Kid Cowboy say 0-2 versus Cleveland and Baltimore. Yeah, I have them losing those two as well. That doesn't mean anything. That's not going to kill
Not
our
me.
season.
I haven't split.
I mean, I would
haven't
like to
split.
beat Cleveland, but I just think it's a tough one. Hey, JJ, but I think we come home and beat New Orleans in our opener, and I think we beat the Giants. So we'll be 2-2. After 4. That's not horrible. So game time. What's Vic Fangio's record against Dak? I don't know. You tell me, Drew. I haven't gotten that deep. I don't know. Vic
It's not even
Fangio.
close.
Vic Fangio, he actually probably has a good record versus Dak because he beat Dak when he was the head coach of Denver, right? So I really don't know though. Weiner's Lamb's going to take the division this year. I don't think the 49ers. I think the 49ers. We own Lambs. Commanders take over. I think the 49ers all damn day. I think you might be in trouble, man. Super Bowl hangover is real. They don't make that shit up. So I think you're going to be a good team, but I think every team in the West got better. So I think the Rams are going to be even better this year. I think Seattle's going to be decent. And
Arizona.
Watch out for Arizona.
Arizona, exactly. So I think Niners all damn day. Welcome to the show. Happy Father's Day, but you better just worry about your own division before you start worrying about getting out. I think of the Niners, man, fake like the Madden curse. Oh, shit, that's right. We talk about that. CMC's on the cover
Oh
of
yeah,
Madden.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey's on the
You
cover of the new
done.
Madden. Mm.
You think
Forget
they're
it.
setting them up for failure?
Yeah, that's not a good look for them. Not a good look for them.
Not at all.
Yeah, they lose Christian McCaffrey, they're toast.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Niner-
CMC, he's about 50% of their offense.
Nah, I have no CMC on my fantasy. I had him last year, and I lost in the championship game. I did win a couple $100. CMC did okay for me, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, Troy, don't forget, put that link in the chat again. I'll actually sign up when I'm done.
Oh, okay. Let me get it.
I keep forgetting to do it. So, wow, he'll break the trends. Kid Cowboy, it's gonna be tough, man. The Bruce and Caitlyn Jenner gang. Nice. Bang, bang.
Hey, if anybody on here is going to the Cleveland game, hit me up. I'll be there week 1.
Yeah, you think? So what do you think, man? I'm hoping you'll bring us good luck. That's going to be an interesting game.
I hope so. I think we'll win. It's going to be a battle.
Dallas is
going to be battle tested,
points
like
to
I
win
said.
that game, and I don't know that the rookie's going to be able to. Man,
I mean,
that's
I'm
gonna be a
more
game plan.
worried about the Browns' defense than I am their offense.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think the biggest test is going to be how Guyton lines up against Myles Garrett.
Yep. That's why I said 12 personnel.
Doesn't get any bigger than that.
Nope. I don't think Guyton. I don't think anybody can honestly say Guyton was going to be able to handle Myles Garrett. That's not fair. They're going to need to help him all day. So, yeah, Niners all damn day. If the Cowboys were your Super Bowl, you'd have a lot of championship rings. Unfortunately, you got to win one more. That's going to be a close game, JJ. I just think that's a tough spot for us. I hope that Loyal being in a stadium, and I was going to zoom you in, Loyal, week 1. Maybe you can give me some sights and sounds from Cleveland Stadium.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, just make
sure.
Get
reception, but yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. We'll see. You'll just have to download Zoom on your
phone.
Yeah, and get that straight. I had to figure that out when I was in
There you go, Brian.
MetLife. All right, thank you.
I'll put it in your chat room too.
Yeah,
we've got 5 spots left.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop in, so that'll be one. Anybody wants to do fantasy?
There it is.
Yeah,
I'm for fantasy.
Yeah, so if anybody wants in on here, just hop in. We're gonna just save a spot for me. Now, how many spots is it? Is that 12, Troy?
Right now, 10. I can make more if we
I
get
would
more.
do 12, because we're not gonna have a problem getting in there. Filling that out. We'll do the draft live on here. So because I know
Sounds
Mark's
good.
not into the draft. So if you
We'll have to do it on.
Yeah,
we'll have to do it on August 31st.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm sure people will drop off once they can't make the draft or whatever. But we got a couple more minutes here. Zeke's good for blocking if not playing center. Yeah, right, Twiz. Don't bring up that. I don't want to see him fucking play center again. Jesus Christ. I'm glad Zeke's back just to get that out of. That was his last play as a Cowboy. At least that's not going to be the last play as a Cowboy. Oh God, Lou, that was bad.
That's the thing though, is it's like, did we really get better this year? Like we drafted, but it's like we let a lot of guys go. Where our draft last year was actually the players didn't make any impact, and now we're relying on this draft. And then we literally signed no free agents barely. It's like, are we really expecting us to be better?
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe.
I mean, we didn't do anything in free agency. That's no surprise. But I think the players that we got rid of are players that we needed to get rid of. Because let's be honest, Tyron Smith, I mean,
I
love
know
him,
all of a sudden
Hall
now,
of Famer, but
Loyal, I'm hearing
he's
everybody
just not reliable anymore.
I just hear everybody I love
LVE
Tyron.
retired. I mean, but he's injury prone. So
I could agree. Some of the players
Yeah.
needed to go. I could agree. Some of the players needed to go.
Yeah, I could agree there too.
My whole thing is if this draft is bad and makes zero impact, and then last year's draft makes zero impact, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
You can't have two
That
drafts
sucks,
in a
Ultra.
row suck. You can't have
No.
2 drafts in a row that make zero
Ultra.
impact on your team. You can't.
Ultra, if we win 13 games and lose early again, that's going to be horrendous.
Only time will tell. We can't.
I'd rather, if you're telling me we're going to lose early again, then let's just win 7 or 8 games and be done with it. I mean, let's get a high draft pick. It's crazy. What password? We're getting ready to wrap it up, Drew, actually, in 1 minute. So there is not a password. I don't have a password. Everybody seems to be getting in there fine, buddy. Oh. The
Gotta be a
password
member.
for the fantasy league. He's not in here. Shit.
All right. Well, I'll see y'all. Y'all going on Mark's?
Yeah, we're
Mark's
going over to
stream?
Mark's. Drew, I'll
Okay, I'll see y'all over there.
Drew,
Yeah.
I'll
All right.
I'll
We'll meet
text
over
you
there.
the number once I get it. All right, buddy, on Facebook, or I'll add you my number, Drew,
All right.
and I'll text you. All right, everybody. I'll see you. Wade
See you over there.
later, everybody. I'll talk to you. Peace.